Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone is having a great day today. Today we have another special guest with us. And Cindy, are you there?
Yes.
Great. Okay, we have with us author, blogger, activist, Cindy Kilbe. And she is going to be talking with us about her blog and book, Struggling with Serendipity. And before we start talking about that, we want to allow Cindy the opportunity to introduce herself and talk about what she does just for a little bit. So, Cindy, you have the floor. Please feel free to speak.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Welcome too, by the way.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I've been a lifelong disability advocate, and since a young age, I've been a volunteer in the disability community. My career also involved working with people with disabilities. As a group home manager, I ran a nonprofit, and I taught literacy at a state institution. And my work with disability started before a big event in my life where my youngest daughter was injured and acquired a disability.
Oh, okay. So did this spearhead the your organization and working with patients and persons with these type of disabilities?
Well, it actually started much younger.
Okay.
when I was in high school.
Okay.
My first full-time job, I managed a group home for 4 men with developmental disabilities. So I've always wanted to try to make a difference, to try to make an impact. And especially in the group home jobs, I really felt that was a big responsibility to try to improve the quality of life of the residents at the group home.
Well, I mean, that's high school. That is like very young, and that is like a load of responsibility tending to people with special needs. So you have definitely put the time in doing that. So it would definitely qualify you to do it. But you wear so many different hats, and you're spread out over so many different organizations. How do you manage them all?
Right. Well, now I work from home. I'm a writer, so I do have more time, and I have. I'm passionate about giving back. Giving back to the disability community, and also sharing a message of hope and a message about the power of connection.
Yes.
So that's part of my story too.
Well, you know, that is so important, and I think it's vital when you are working with people, you know, with special needs. You have to have the compassion, and you have to have a desire to do it first and foremost. And you definitely have it. So I think they're fortunate to have you on their side. And I also read in your bio that you were worked with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a peer mentor, so I matched with other moms who have a child with a spinal cord injury, like my youngest daughter has. And that has been a meaningful thing to me, you know, making friendships and getting to know these other moms. We call ourselves warrior moms.
Yes, with the Z.
Right, we're fighting for our kids.
Yes, yes. Many people may not be aware of who Christopher Reeve was, but he played Superman, and we know that he suffered a spinal cord injury quite a few years ago, and he actually died as a result of all the complications that goes along with that. So how do you manage this with your own daughter, you know, with her having had that accident? And how have you managed with her dealing with her spinal cord injury?
Yes, her injury happened in a car accident, and her injury in her neck is about 1 inch lower in the neck than Christopher Reeve's injury. And what that means is she's also quadriplegic. She's a quadriplegic, like Christopher Reeve was. But for my daughter Beth, she was 14 when she was injured.
14,
And she's paralyzed from the chest down. And from the start, she somehow had, she wrote about it quite a bit and talked about it. She understood that she couldn't change what happened, you know, that she had this injury. So she accepted it, and her attitude was, well, what do I need to do next?
Wow.
What can I do to be more independent?
Wow.
So it was amazing.
Yes.
The rest of us were so devastated, you know, and despite my experience with disability, it was still the hardest thing I've ever been through.
I can imagine.
Yes, being a caregiver for a loved one and for your own child is quite a bit different than in a job like I had before. As a parent, there was an intense amount of responsibility for her health, and in the beginning it was frail, like it is for many people with a new injury. So it was frightening. It was
understandable, yes.
Not knowing what was going to happen next. But the good news is that I think partly because of her attitude and her desire to be more independent, she was looking forward. And as a result, so many good things started happening. You know, I recently published a book, and the title is Struggling with Serendipity.
Yes.
And this is the serendipity part. Okay. So many amazing, surprising things started happening after her injury that, you know, just could not have imagined. And especially the first few years, I was right there with her.
Yes.
So we had the opportunity to do quite a bit of traveling because she ended up going into competitive swimming.
Wow, of all things, wow.
Not anything that we expected. She was not a swimmer before the accident, but she discovered freedom in the water during water therapy and was just passionate about getting back in the water and seeing what she could do.
That's amazing.
And, you know, she could do a lot, it turns out.
It's amazing. Yeah.
She was on the U.S. Paralympic national swim team
for
5 years and traveled the world with them.
Oh my gosh.
And then also 3 of those years, she also swam on the Harvard women's swimming and diving team. And she was the first member of that team with a visible disability.
Wow.
That was an extraordinary experience.
It is. Yeah.
Even just Harvard was, for my family, kind of crazy in a small town in Ohio.
Uh-huh. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That is. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. It's there's just so many things like that happen that we never expected, and she helped me in many ways too. I had struggles with mental health, and part of my book and my story is coming to terms with that.
Okay.
And accepting it and getting treatment and learning to thrive again.
Right, because I mean, but I see the positive in all of this. And I know it took you a while to get there because, like you said, when you're taking care of your own that has, a limiting disability, which has not limited her at all because she's done so many things, that people with a completely functional body haven't even done or can do. So, I love how she has taken something that was terrible and turned it into a triumph. And and as far as your mental health, you can't help but have those mental breakdowns when you are under such tremendous pressure of first of all loving your child, and then secondly having to deal with the disability and take care, and witnessing her struggle. But the amazing part of this is that it's like she's like the ray of sunshine and everything because, she's the person that's dealing with it, but she's the one that had the most positive outlook. It's like, well, okay, this happened to me, but it doesn't limit me in what I can do. And I just, that just amazes me so much. Her attitude, it's just one that you don't see a lot.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that she was able to lead the way.
Yes.
Because one of my issues, even before the accident, I had a long-term depression diagnosis that I had been in denial about. And then another factor for me was the night of the accident when she was injured. We were returning from my son's college concert. It was a long drive, and I fell asleep at the wheel.
Oh, okay.
So there was a lot of guilt.
Yes,
that
yes.
I also was dealing with.
Yes.
And at that time, I didn't feel like I could lead the way. So that was so wonderful that she could.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I sympathize with that because, and I understand why you would think that it was your fault, but things happen that are out of your control, because sometimes we do forget that we're human and we have limits. And then, I mean, of course you took all the responsibility upon yourself, but, again, like I said, things happen that are out of our control, but still, you just have to see so many different things at work in this whole scenario, especially with her attitude being so positive. And and it helped you, to regain control over your own emotions and things of that nature. But now, I want to talk about your blog and I want to talk about your book, Struggling with Serendipity, because first of all, I love the title. I love how you put those two things together. And so can we talk about that just for a little bit?
Sure. I started writing the book about 8 years ago, and I couldn't really begin to think about writing about the accident and after until about 10 years after the injury. And even then, it was a really big challenge. At first, I was just writing very superficially, this happened, that happened. But then, I kind of quickly realized that if it was going to be a story that I wanted to share, that I also would need to include more.
Right.
Like the whole story.
Right.
So, right. That took a while.
Yes, I know. I know. Because go ahead. Go ahead.
That's fine. About 2 years ago, I started a blog because I was working on the book, and a literary agent had told me, you really need to get working on what they call a platform, a platform, to try to just get your name out there, and also to create interest in the story, that the book that you're going to be publishing. And it was really humbling for me, even in the beginning with the blog, what a great response I was getting. So many people were connecting. They felt it was resonating with them in some way, and not just people who've experienced paralysis in their family or mental health issues. It really was across the board on challenges. So that was very encouraging.
Yes.
I decided I've got to see this book in print. And I was really thrilled that I was able to find a small press who picked it up and offered me a book contract. It's not self-publishing, and I had hoped to. I was happy about that. I mean, I could have self-published, but I'm glad that the small press was interested.
Oh,
in
yeah,
publishing.
that's a great accomplishment. Yes, most definitely.
Right. So now my challenge is, sharing that message about the power of hope and connection. How to do that. I appreciate your invitation to your podcast. This is one way I hope to help kind of just spread the word, and also to let people know that when you need help, don't hesitate to ask for it.
Yes.
That was a mistake I made for a long time, and it's important, even if you don't see light at the end of the tunnel or you don't have hope, to know that things change, and
they do.
You can get out of it, and just don't give up.
You're right, and I think that's one of the things I admire most about you, or all the things that you're involved with, because you are trying to get the word out there. And I mean, you may have had a rocky start at the beginning, not wanting, to really talk about it or ask for help, but you never know who is willing, to assist you in any way, until you do, just go out there and just test the waters a little bit to see who is willing to help. So, I mean, you've done so much, and you're doing so much, and blogging about it, writing about it, all of those are forms of therapy, and and not only that, and not only that, is encouragement for people who are quads, and they need that encouragement to see that their life isn't over, that there's still things that they can do, and your daughter is the perfect role model for that, for that image, because her overall positivity, it's just, I mean, that's, to me, it's just remarkable. It's so wonderful. When you think about a lot of people who have suffered, tragedies like this, they're the ones that are, depressed. They go into a state of depression, but, hers is more like, it got the ball rolling for so many different things. And that is what makes it so remarkable and so wonderful, within itself. And then, it sort of helped you too, to sort of, rid yourself of the guilt and all those things, and to push forward and start doing something, even more inspiring, writing about it, talking about it, and, all the things that's dealing with spinal cord injuries and mental health, because those are things, especially mental health, are things that people really don't like talking about,
Right.
it's more private, it's a subject that's really more private, and people don't like talking about it. And, since we're talking about it, this past week was Mental Health Week. So, that's a good thing that now, Mental Health
Right.
Month, that's a good thing that now, things that were taboo in the past are being talked about, that are being put in the forefront, because it's something that that everyone needs to know. They need to talk about, not be afraid to talk about it, not be embarrassed to talk about it, because it's something as humans that we all go through. And I just love everything about what you're doing, and all the organizations that you've worked with. And like I said, the title, struggling with serendipity.
Right. Well, yeah, I think it says a lot about depression just with the title, because you can be in a good situation, you can have people who love you, you can feel loved, and you can still have trouble with depression.
You can.
So that's I thought that the title really fit the story.
It does. It's so much. It really does.
Right, and I am just so grateful that Beth was able to meet her challenges head on. But at the same time, I want to tell your listeners too that I don't want to minimize. I'm not minimizing the challenges.
No.
Disability, because there certainly are challenges, even for my daughter now. She still has quadriplegia, but she's also a lawyer in D.C.
Wow.
And she's living her life.
Wow! Congratulations to her. Yes.
Yeah, I think right. I'm just proud that she was able to move on, and she's passionate about giving back to the disability community as well.
And that's important, that's important. And like I said, again, she's the perfect image for that, to, like you said, we're not minimizing, any type of, the spinal cord injury or anything, of that seriousness. But what we want to focus on is her positivity, because that's going to help a whole lot more people, her attitude. And I'm so glad that, that she's gone on to be an attorney, and, just continuing to, be an advocate of, of quads, all over the country. And two is helping you're helping her spread the word by all the things that you're doing. And I do appreciate you coming on to the show today to talk about it, because it's important. And I learned quite a few things too by reading your bio. And can you tell us where we can find your book, and how to listen, how to read your blog, how to find it too?
Right. My book, Struggling with Serendipity, is available everywhere books are sold.
Okay.
That includes Amazon. I also have a website that's called strugglingwithserendipity.com, and that includes my blog. It includes my book events. I do love to meet people at book events, if anyone can make any of them. And I'm thrilled that I've been able to do coast to coast.
Wonderful.
So I've got a lot. I just got back from Boston and Chicago.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been just wonderful. All the people I've been meeting. My website also includes a link if anybody would like a signed copy. I've got those available at a discount.
Okay.
And I do love to hear from people. My email is on my website, and if you read the book, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay. What's your daughter's name? Because I think I overlooked that.
Oh, sure. Elizabeth Colby. And she just got married. Her name now is actually this Beth Colby Hardcastle.
Oh, congratulations to her and her groom. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to you. I wish you the best, and I hope you have tremendous success with your book. And everybody that's listening, they heard where to find it. And of course, I know how to get to your blog because I went there and I looked at your page, and it's very nice, by the way. I like all the information that you have out there, very detailed. And we had a little bit of technical difficulties at the start of the show. It started just a little bit late, but we finally got it sorted out and were able to have this discussion. And I'm so glad that we did because it's leaving me with a great feeling overall. So thank you again, Cindy, for agreeing to do the show. And hopefully in the future, we'll get to talk again.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, thanks for having me, Vivian. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, folks. So that was Cindy Kilbe, and I so enjoyed talking with her and learned so much. It's so inspiring to read stories and talk with guests like this. You learn things. I learn something new every time I do a show like this. Whenever I interview a guest, I always leave, with so much more than what I started with. And I appreciate her so much for, coming on and talking about, her daughter's accident and disabilities and the things that she went through. And then, the positive reflection of her daughter and how she coped with her accident. And, she met all the challenges and just moved on with her life. And that says so much, about the strength in this young woman. So I just wish the best for her and her new husband in her life, and for her mom as well, Cindy, who is just a champion in my book. Well, that pretty much, is the show for today. But before I let you go, I always have to tell you how to stay in contact. So first and foremost is Spreaker, and it is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian Moore. Cindy just sent me a message. If you heard that little glitch in there, that's what that was. You can also look me up by my name, Vivian Moore, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm out there if you want to check out those, my social media. And also, if you want to read my blog, it is at https://vivianemore.blogspot.com. If you didn't get the show today live, you can definitely listen to it, the recorded version on iTunes and iHeartRadio, also SoundCloud. There's so many more that I can't even remember. YouTube, I can't remember them all, but the next time I'll be better prepared to give you all those names for all the different places where you can listen to the show. And I thank you so very much for listening to the show, tuning in every Saturday at 6, because I know that there are things that you could be doing, but you are giving me the opportunity to talk to you and, just take a little bit of your time. And I do appreciate all of you who download the show on a weekly basis. That lets me know, too, that you're listening to it, and I do appreciate it. It gives me encouragement to continue to do the show because I do love it so very much. And also, tomorrow's worship day, and I hope you're planning on going to church. So take some family members, take some friends, take some neighbors, and by all means, take some kids with you and tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say it. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.